I stood on the edge of the field, eagerly awaiting the fireworks show. The sky was filled with anticipation as darkness settled in, allowing the stars to twinkle above. The atmosphere buzzed with excitement, and the scent of popcorn and cotton candy wafted through the air. Little did I know, this was going to be a night I would never forget. As the first fireworks shot into the sky, a burst of color and light exploded above me. The crowd erupted in applause and cheers, but something felt off. The explosion had been deafeningly loud, and the vibrations rattled through my body like an unsettling tremor. I brushed it off as a mere technical glitch and tried to enjoy the show. However, the fireworks that followed were even more unnerving. The bright lights seemed to flicker in a chaotic manner, as if they were struggling to maintain control. The once vibrant colors now appeared muted and distorted, casting an eerie glow across the field. Unease crept up my spine, and a shiver ran down my back. Suddenly, a series of deafening explosions ripped through the air, much louder and more intense than anything I had ever experienced. The crowd's cheers turned into panicked screams as people scattered in every direction, desperately seeking shelter from the chaos. Smoke billowed, obscuring my vision and making it difficult to breathe. Fear gripped my heart, and I searched frantically for an escape route. In the midst of the pandemonium, I stumbled upon a small tent that had been set up for the event. Desperate for refuge, I rushed inside, hoping to find solace from the nightmarish scene unfolding outside. But as I stepped into the darkness, a sickening realization washed over me. The tent was not a sanctuary, it was a trap. The interior was dimly lit by a flickering lantern, casting eerie shadows on the walls. The air was heavy, suffocating, and the stench of decay invaded my nostrils. Panic took hold of me as I noticed sinister figures lurking in the corners, their features obscured by the gloom. Whispers echoed through the air, their voices a haunting melody of malice and despair. I tried to turn back, but the entrance had disappeared. The tent had transformed into a twisted labyrinth, its walls shifting and morphing with every step I took. The whispers grew louder, their sinister tones closing in around me. Shadows danced menacingly, elongating and distorting into grotesque shapes. My heart pounded in my chest as terror consumed me. Each step I took seemed to bring me deeper into a macabre nightmare. The figures in the shadows drew closer, their grotesque forms revealed bit by bit. Their faces were twisted with hollow eyes and grotesque grins, their bodies contorted into unnatural poses. I wanted to scream, but my voice was trapped in my throat. As I stumbled forward, the ground beneath me gave way and I tumbled into an endless abyss. Darkness enveloped me, and a cold chill seeped into my bones. Panic and dread mingled within me, threatening to consume my sanity. I was trapped, lost in an otherworldly realm where nightmares became reality. Time became an abstract concept, as minutes stretched into agonizing eternities. I wandered through an ever-changing landscape of horror, my mind tormented by ghastly visions. The whispers persisted, their sinister chorus an inescapable torment. Just when I thought I could bear it no longer, I found myself back on the field, surrounded by the wreckage of the fireworks display. The chaos had subsided, and the crowd had vanished, leaving behind an eerie silence. Confusion washed over me as I stumbled through the remnants of what was once a joyous celebration. I never found answers to the horrors I had experienced that night. It remains etched in my memory as a macabre enigma, a reminder of the darkness that lurks beneath the surface of our reality. And every time the night sky lights up with fireworks, a shiver runs down my spine, for I know that not all celebrations end in joy. Some lead us down a path of unimaginable terror, forever haunting our dreams and shattering our sense of security.
On a balmy Independence Day evening, the air was thick with anticipation and the scent of barbecue. Families and friends gathered in my small town, ready to celebrate with fireworks and patriotic cheer. Little did we know that this particular 4th of July would forever be etched in our memories as a night of inexplicable terror. As darkness descended, the sky illuminated with bursts of color and thunderous explosions. The crowd oohed and awed as the dazzling fireworks painted the heavens above. But amidst the awe-inspiring display, an unsettling undercurrent of unease began to spread through the crowd. I was standing near the outskirts of the park, mesmerized by the radiant spectacle. As the final fireworks soared into the night sky, something strange happened. Instead of dissipating like the others, it lingered, suspended in midair, refusing to fade away. A hush fell over the crowd as everyone's gaze fixated on the anomalous firework. It glowed with an otherworldly intensity, casting an eerie glow on the faces below. The atmosphere grew heavy, a palpable sense of unease settling in. Then the unthinkable occurred. The suspended firework exploded, but instead of sparkling sparks and crackles, a sinister mist erupted from its core. It slithered through the air, tendrils of darkness reaching out like malevolent fingers. Gasps of horror rippled through the crowd, mingling with nervous whispers. The mist snaked its way through the park, enveloping unsuspecting revelers. Panic gripped the crowd as people began to scream and scramble to escape its clutches. But the mist seemed to have a mind of its own, pursuing its victims relentlessly. Those unfortunate enough to be touched by the murky tendrils succumbed to a peculiar transformation. Their eyes turned a haunting shade of crimson, and a fiendish smile stretched across their faces. They became mindless, zombie-like creatures driven by an insatiable hunger for chaos and destruction. Terrified, I watched as my neighbors and friends turned on each other, consumed by a malevolent force that seemed to possess them. Panic and terror surged through me, and I knew I had to find a way to survive this nightmarish ordeal. With great effort, I broke free from the chaos and fled into the nearby woods, seeking refuge from the madness. As I stumbled through the underbrush, I could hear the distant screams, and the cacophony of destruction growing louder behind me. The once jubilant celebration had descended into a dystopian nightmare. Lost and disoriented, I stumbled upon an old cabin tucked away in the depths of the forest. Desperation fueled my steps as I barged through the door, hoping to find solace within its walls. The musty scent of abandonment greeted me as I hastily barricaded the entrance, hoping to keep the encroaching madness at bay. Inside, shadows danced menacingly across the walls, as if mocking my feeble attempt to find safety. The air was heavy with a chilling silence, broken only by my frantic breaths. I knew I couldn't stay hidden forever, and the horrifying reality of the situation weighed heavily upon me. Hours passed, each one stretching like an eternity as I cowered in the darkness. The night wore on, and the chaos outside began to subside. The fiendish mist had dissipated, leaving behind a trail of destruction and shattered lives. When the first light of dawn broke through the cabin's window, I emerged cautiously from my hiding place. The town was in ruins. Houses burned, debris littered the streets, and a thick fog of despair hung in the air. It was a haunting sight, a testament to the inexplicable horror that had unfolded on this otherwise festive occasion. As time passed, the events of that fateful Independence Day became a chilling legend in our town. People spoke of the night when the fireworks unleashed a sinister mist, transforming friends and neighbors into something unrecognizable. To this day, the 4th of July holds a somber air of remembrance in our community. We gather not only to celebrate our nation's independence, but also to honor those who were lost and the resilience of those who survived. And as the fireworks illuminate the night sky, a silent prayer escapes our lips, pleading for protection from the unknown horrors that may still linger in the shadows.
The small town of Greenwood was buzzing with excitement as the annual 4th of July parade approached. Colorful streamers lined the streets, and children eagerly clutched their miniature American flags, ready to wave them proudly. But little did they know that this year's parade would be forever etched in their memories as a day when the joy of celebration turned into a nightmare. As the parade kicked off, the lively marching band led the way, their patriotic tunes echoing through the town. Floats adorned with red, white, and blue decorations rolled by, eliciting cheers and applause from the onlookers. But it was the sight of a stilt walker dressed as Uncle Sam that sent shivers down the spines of those watching. The stilt walker towered above the crowd, his exaggerated features a haunting distortion of the iconic Uncle Sam character. His painted face wore a permanent grin, his eyes hidden behind dark sunglasses. With each elongated step, his presence sent a ripple of unease through the onlookers. As he moved through the parade route, his eyes fixated on individuals in the crowd, as if studying them with an eerie intensity. Some dismissed their discomfort as mere jitters, attributing it to the towering figure's unsettling appearance. But as the parade progressed, it became apparent that something was amiss. People began to notice that the stilt walker seemed to appear in multiple places at once, as if defying the laws of time and space. A mother watching with her young daughter gasped as she saw the Uncle Sam figure standing both at the front and back of the parade simultaneously. The child clung to her mother's leg, her eyes wide with confusion and fear. Whispers spread through the crowd, and unease transformed into genuine terror. People's gazes darted nervously, fearing that the enigmatic stilt walker would fix his gaze upon them. A hushed silence fell over the parade route, the air heavy with a palpable sense of foreboding. Then, the unthinkable happened. The stilt walker broke character. His smile twisted into a malicious grin, and he abandoned his position in the parade, purposefully weaving his way through the crowd. Panic erupted as people scrambled to escape his path, but it seemed as if he had an uncanny ability to zero in on those most vulnerable. One by one, the stilt walker approached individuals, his gloved hand extended in a macabre invitation. Those unfortunate enough to come into contact with him were stricken with a profound dread. Their eyes glazed over with terror, and they became entranced, compelled to follow the towering figure through the labyrinthine streets of Greenwood. The remaining crowd watched in horror as their loved ones were led away, disappearing into the depths of the town. Fear and desperation fueled their determination to unravel the mystery surrounding the malevolent stilt walker. They formed a brave group, determined to rescue their friends and family from whatever dark fate awaited them. As they ventured deeper into the town, they discovered an abandoned carnival grounds, long forgotten and decrepit. The stilt walker led his victims to this eerie location, its rusted rides and dilapidated booths adding an extra layer of macabre ambiance. In the heart of the carnival, the group finally confronted the stilt walker. His eyes burned with an unholy fire, his grin stretching wider than humanly possible. He reveled in their terror, relishing in their vulnerability. But the townspeople refused to surrender to fear. With a collective surge of courage, they fought back, determined to break the hold the stilt walker had over their loved ones. A chaotic battle ensued, with the sinister figure contorting his body in unnatural ways, his elongated limbs striking with uncanny precision. As the final blow was struck, the stilt walker's body collapsed, his painted face frozen in an eternal expression of malevolence. The spell he had cast was broken, and those under his thrall were freed from his grasp. Exhausted but triumphant, the townspeople gathered their loved ones and made their way back to the streets. The once vibrant parade route had turned into a ghostly scene, the remnants of the stilt walker's dark influence lingering in the air. From that day forward, the 4th of July parade in Greenwood was forever changed. The stilt walker became a chilling legend, a cautionary tale passed down from one generation to the next. And as the residents gathered each year to celebrate their independence, they never forgot the horrors they had faced, reminding themselves to always be wary of the darkness that can lurk beneath even the brightest celebrations.